Hey everybody, I'm Clay. Welcome to that Midgard Show. This is going to be a really short episode. Today it's just me, and we're going to talk about some changes to the podcast. So Joe and I, we've took a break for the summertime to deal with, vacations and other stuff. But while we were taking that break, Joe and I were talking about a few important things that we wanted to do with the podcast. Instead of the big, long, lengthy episodes that we have put out in the past, we're going to take the segments and break those out into separate videos. Most importantly is it'll help with our production efforts. We'll be able to record a bunch of material and then plan that out into different episodes and release those on a more frequent interval than we have done in the past. Our topics are going to pretty much remain the same. There's going to be plenty of lore discussions, but we're going to make these episodes shorter and less lore dense. We feel that we sometimes hit you with too much lore. That doesn't mean we're going to severely reduce the lore, but we're going to kind of talk about things out of the Midgard World Book and other koboldpress publications in a more extemporaneous method rather than, we've in the past written a script and we've pretty much read the script and we did a little banter. So Joe and I want to kind of change it up to where we are kind of, feeding off of each other and bouncing ideas off of you while at the same time communicating the lore about the areas that we are discussing. Some other exciting announcements is that we're going to start bringing guests onto the show to interview, primarily kobolds, but other folks who are enthusiasts about the Midgard campaign setting. We are also going to continue with the adventure prompt things where we kind of take these small little paragraphs out of the world book and try to break them out into an adventure, something that could spark some creativity on your end and say, hey, that's a good idea. I want to bring that to my table and run that as part of our next session. So we're going to be doing those as well. And the Creature Showcase is still going to remain, but now that Tales of the Valiant Monster Vaults is out, we're going to also include the creatures out of that publication as well. And because a lot of the creatures are similar, we're going to compare them to the TOV version to the 5e version. We probably will also offer some ideas for the 5e versions out of the koboldpress bestiaries on how you can convert those into a TOV variant. And the way TOV is set up, as you know, it's 5e adjacent. It's not as hard of a lift to convert a 5e character to TOV as it would be to, say, take a Pathfinder character and convert that into 5e as well. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We've been doing our side trip to the Northlands. We kind of paused our Empire of the Ghouls, and we're going to wrap up the Northlands in our next episode and move back to Empire of the Ghouls. We're also going to talk about the Labyrinth World Book content that currently exists. And we'll have some special guests on the podcast to talk about the Labyrinth World Book that is in an upcoming Kickstarter. As of the recording, the Kickstarter hasn't started yet. We're really excited about that new product, and we want to make sure we get some good information out for you guys. Joe, of course, is going to be back. He's focused right now on creating content for GM Toolbox, and he's put out about 4 really great episodes in the last few weeks that if you haven't seen already, I highly recommend that you take a look. And I'll put a link below to Joe's channel on YouTube. A lot of great content, like I said. The last announcement is that I'm going to be starting a new podcast as well. It's going to be focused around Foundry Virtual Tabletop and how to produce content for that platform. It's primarily geared to GMs who want to take content that's currently not available in Foundry and create creatures or classes, subclasses, and so forth. There's not going to be any sort of JavaScript. If I do have some JavaScript, that'll help with the production of classes and creatures and so forth. I will definitely include that in there. But it's mainly going to be around workflow and production and how to create really nice tokens and how to set up a creature that when you bring it to the table, it's easier for you to run. The automation is set up. all of the goodness, the active effects and things like that are there, and give some tips on creating walls around maps, the different terrain walls and physical walls, sound effects, lighting. There's a lot that Foundry offers. There's a learning curve, a degree of a learning curve, and it sometimes makes it a little intimidating for folks to use. But Foundry is my tool of choice. That's what I like. That's what I produce content. That's the job I have right now. Is I produce content for third-party publishers on the Foundry platform, and I just kind of want to share the workflow that I'm using to produce Foundry content. And also, I want that to be a community for everyone to share their ideas and share their workflows. And for this new podcast to kind of be a source for content creators, for third-party publishers, for game masters, even for players. More to come on that. And Joe and I have a lot of good ideas. I think the direction we're going with that Midgard Show will be very beneficial to our viewers. And with shorter content, you'll be able to consume that a lot easier than listening to a show that is an hour long. I like them, but a lot of folks, prefer a shorter form of content. So you're still going to get all the great stuff that we talk about. We're just going to break it up into separate videos. So more to come, and we'll talk to you later. Peace.